Hey there, everybody. It's 3 o'clock, and welcome to the Strategy Hacker live stream. As I always do when I start a Strategy Hacker live stream, by the way, I'm Shelly Palmer. I want to know how audio sounds because I got so many audio files listening. It's kind of crazy. We're just always talking audio. I don't know why. It always seems to be an audio conversation. So, first of all, welcome everyone from all over the place. What a big crowd I see today. YouTube Live and LinkedIn Live and Facebook Live and a few people on Twitch. Welcome, Twitch folks. We're so happy to have you here. And Periscope, I know you guys are here too. I am so absolutely thrilled to have the Periscope guys here. And I know that in just a couple of days, all my Periscope friends are going to be gone, and you're going to have to come join us at either LinkedIn Live or Facebook Live, or of course, where we mostly hang out, which is YouTube Live. So welcome everybody. Tell me where you are in the world. I'd love to know. I'd love to know where you're in. I see Justin and Josh and Kevin, welcome. Gary Einstein, welcome. I'm glad it looks and sounds good. We have a lot to cover today. This is going to be a very, very big and interesting show. So many things have gone on in the last week. But while we're waiting for everyone to gather together, as I see people are coming online, again, welcome. And please, this is all about the chat. So dig in on chat. You can not only tell me who you are, just tell me where you are. And this time, as we did last week, which was so effective, if you feel like it and it's not required, please tell us what you do so that everybody can interact with everybody else. Doesn't have to be your whole bio, but one or two lines about what you do for a living and what your interests are. Are you into new technology? Are you into business or strategy? Are you, whatever you're doing, we would like to know. It's like such an incredible group of people. As you know, we are live on YouTube right now, as well as Facebook. But the best place to find us is always shellypalmer.com/live, which is my YouTube channel. That's the most reliable of all the streams. And I know many of you are there. And also there's a great live chat there, which we are monitoring. We can also see you guys at LinkedIn. So thank you. And we can see you on Facebook if you're on Facebook Live. Well, if you're listening today, and I know a lot of you are new. I see some people I know. Hello, Richard Sellers, who I know, and Michael Lloyd and Steve Catola. Welcome, welcome. And Diana, thank you so much. Ashan, thank you. I'm welcoming you all to PGX. In the description on all of the various channels you're watching on, there is a link to our social network, PGX, which is a private social network. It's invitation only. There are over 3,000 members of PGX. I think it was 3,030 yesterday. If you're listening, you are pre-selected. You've sort of selected yourself to be part of this. So thank you for being here. And we hope that you will join us on PGX, where you will meet other people who are interested in the things that you're interested in, and you'll be able to converse with them. There are so many interesting topics. We're talking today, for example, about vaccines. We're talking about contact tracing and vaccine passports. We're talking about masking, double masking, actually, and the new study there. Utah just started a contact tracing program today. You'll find all of that information on PGX and all kinds of people to converse with about it. Obviously, I want to hear from you. So very, very important to me to hear from you. So you can email me. It's my actual email account, shelly@shellypalmer.com, or you can DM me at Shelly Palmer, which is my Twitter account. And you can DM me, hey, Bruce, welcome. And welcome Don Levine, and welcome Lori D. Whitman. How are you? Jim Chase, welcome from Carlsbad, California. Thank you. Mary, glad you're here too. Wow, what a nice crowd shaping up. This is fantastic. We'll just do a little more housekeeping till everybody gets comfortable and everybody settles in. And then I have a kind of a really cool surprise for you today. As you know, we do online salons every weekday, Monday through Thursday. On Mondays, we do education tech, an amazing group of people. The way these salons work is at 11:05. It's right after the hour. At 11:05 to 11, call it 11:30. Pardon me. There's a group of people get together. We have a little welcome. Could be 10 people, could be 50 people. It all depends how many we invite. You have to ask for credentials and you give us your LinkedIn profile, and then we let you into the salons. And we choose which salons you're going to be in. Education Tech is a great one. We have a small session, plenary session, a welcome session, and then we go into breakout rooms, or in a smaller group, we'll stay in one room. We talk about the news of the day. It's some interesting combination of a water cooler and town square. It's really fun. You'll meet someone new. You'll meet your old friends. You'll learn a little. You'll teach a little. It's a very nice place to spend 20, 25 minutes on weekday mornings. That's Monday is education tech. On Tuesday, we do leading edge tech, which is all the craziness. By the way, people in chat who have been in the salons, if you want to say something about the salons to sort of support my rant here about why they're valuable, please do so, because I'd like everyone to understand that these are super fun. The leading edge tech is everything from quantum computing, AI, machine learning, natural language understanding, electric vehicles, and anything that's really on the cutting edge of technology, the latest in SEO, the latest in SEM, ad tech, martech. We talk about everything that's new, everything that's next, and what it's going to mean for your business on Tuesdays. Then Wednesdays, this morning we had health and wellness tech. There's so much going on in healthcare. The pandemic is obvious, but there are other things happening in healthcare too: telemedicine, telehealth, tremendous advances across the board, human machine fusions, prosthetics, all of the different ways that medicine is changing, different diagnostics, different tools. It's a wonderful group of people, and we have very interesting conversations there. And on Thursdays, we have tech, media, and marketing, technology, media, and marketing. It's by far the biggest group. We routinely have 50, 70 people there. We break into smaller sessions. You'll always find fun people there. We're always talking about the latest in marketing. We just had some really great conversations about the Super Bowl, Nielsen ratings, what happened last week, what it means to the TV business, what it doesn't mean to the TV business, what's going on in the streaming world. If any of that's interesting to you, what's happened to mass communication, what's happening to mass communication, targeted communication, all of that. It all meets all together on Thursdays at Tech, Media, and Marketing Online Salon. You can get all of the information that you need, and you can request your credentials at shellypalmer.com/salons. I hope that you will join us there. I think you'll find them very, very valuable. We have a courseware area at shellypalmer.com. It's courses.shellypalmer.com. And while there are some courses there you can pay for and take, the vast majority of what's there are free downloads for you that are from either my blog or some business writings that we've done. There are ebooks that are either free or very inexpensive, templates to do things like SWOT analysis or the famous P&G memo, decision matrices, etc., etc. So if you are into strategy, tactics, business management, business marketing, any level of analysis, turning data into action across the board, I think you will find all kinds of good resource material at courses.shellypalmer.com. I hope you will spend a few minutes there. And if you're going to tweet today, and I hope you do, or if you're going to get onto social media in any way, please use the Strategy Hacker hashtag. If you are so inclined, that would be awesome, because that way we can keep our strategy hacking going. Let's see who's here. Oh, by the way, this is also an absolute AMA day, so you can always ask me any questions you want to ask me at any time. We will do our very best to answer them. Let's see. Hello from Denver. David Charmats, you're here. Kevin, oh, thank you for the nice words about the salon. Barbara, thank you for passing on my article about the impeachment. Yeah, it's funny. I was very scared about my impeachment analysis article. It's an article I wrote. You can find it at shellypalmer.com. It's my Sunday blog, and it's a long piece. I think it's like over 1,000 words. Which, it's a long piece. Hey there, David Hool from Sarasota. And that piece, I was really wondering, there's a great Lincoln quote from a biography I read about Lincoln, who is a personal hero of mine. I guess he is to so many, it's not unique. But they say that when he got mad at someone, he would write them a long letter and then throw it away. And I always thought that was pretty good advice. You don't kind of text in anger. You don't write emails in anger. I certainly never wrote a letter in anger. I wrote this piece because I was pretty angry about the outcome of the impeachment, and not for the reasons you think. So the goal was to have a highly dispassionate analysis of the impeachment itself, which is what I wrote about. And it may be one of the most shared articles I've ever written, and it may be one of the few articles that is about a political subject, which I rarely write about, that no one yelled at me about the politics. Everybody just was, I want to say 99% of the response was positive, which never happens when I'm not writing about politics. Usually when I write anything that even hints at politics, people attack with wild abandon. And I've got pretty thick skin. Like, I don't take it personally, but I get beaten up pretty hard on a regular basis just for doing my regular job. So to do a political thing and not get beaten up, wow, that was just great. I was really happy about that. So today we're going to try something completely new, and I'm really excited, and I mean really excited to introduce you to a friend, not only a friend, but a very seasoned broadcaster. And I thought, we don't usually have guests at Strategy Hacker Livestream, but I thought today we're going to talk about so many interesting things that I'd want to have someone to share that conversation with. So I hope you'll help me in welcoming, say a warm welcome to my good friend, Seth Everett. Hey, Seth, how are you?
Hey, Shelly, big fan.
Thank
I feel
you.
like Bob Barker just called me in from the audience. Like, come on down. 'Cause I'm a viewer, man. I'm in the chat room.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. Welcome and thank you for being here today. Look, this is the Strategy Hacker live stream. It's usually me ranting for hours about, whatever I feel like, or actually just 1 hour. And as you know, my practice is to take the chat and, ask everyone to chat amongst themselves, and also to ask me questions. It's always an AMA. That's really what Strategy Hacker live stream is. It's basically an ask me anything kind of afternoon. But Seth, I'm thinking about so many things today. I thought, like, you and I could have a little convo, and those who are listening in, if they're so inclined, could join us and ask their questions. For those of you who want to ask questions about the subject we're going to cover today, please in the chat. The chat has been the greatest gift to this entire process. First of all of you seem to really get active talking to each other as well as to me. So please keep that up. And Seth, are you able to see some of the chat too?
I see the chat. Yeah, I can't respond because of the way I'm seeing it, the way I'm set up. But yeah, no, this is great. So many nice people, and I have met so many really cool people through your salons. It has been a blessing, man. It's been so interesting. I got a commercial for my podcast from your salons. I saw old friends. It's been wild.
I'm glad. I'm really glad. I'm really glad.
But I'm already on the show, so I don't have to kiss your butt anymore.
No, you don't. You're here. So today was nuts. Utah passed a law, and they launched their first contact tracing app today. And now we've had one in New York that nobody uses for a couple months.
Yep.
It's voluntary. I don't get what they think is going to happen. I'm going to do a thought experiment with you, Seth, and you tell me. We do our executive training, and we're talking about clustering and classifying data, right? Because that's what, you're going to transform data into action. You have to cluster, classify, and sort data out, right? We take a break, and I'll say to the people, the executives in the room, okay, let's do some rudimentary clustering and classifying. Boys on the left, girls on the right. And people get up, and they form two lines. Almost like, sometimes I say men and women. Sometimes I make a joke about non-binary in the middle. And, and it's not a joke anymore, but realistically, I'll do that, and people will fall into line without an issue. After they get comfortable, I would say something like, okay, so this seems really rational. Let's try a different one. Jews on the left, Christians on the right.
Wouldn't be a long line in Utah.
People's brains explode. right? Because how uncomfortable they are with that. And I stop every say, I'm actually just trying to prove a point. To you, there's a massive emotional reaction to the second classification that we're going to do physically. A computer has no emotion and doesn't care. Computer will just make that separation as soon as you tell it to. It doesn't know it's right or wrong. So now we're asking people in Utah, let's classify into safe and unsafe. Who wants to be in the unsafe category? Right. Who's going there, man?
It's amazing. It's amazing. And the folks in Utah were so late to the party. And when I say that, I did some research. Do you remember when Rudy Gobert in the NBA tested positive for COVID, and it canceled the NBA and really started the lockdown? I mean, it started the shutdown the way it was. And you remember the video that went viral a couple of days beforehand where Rudy licked the microphones of 5 other reporters? Yeah. I interviewed one of the 5 guys whose microphones he licked, and he tells this incredible story about how scared he was because he didn't know anything about it and how scared he was. And he said that in Utah, it wasn't even the lead story on the news. It wasn't the big thing. They were so late to the party. And it's just amazing to me on how segregated we all were, because Utah, it's so funny that you brought up Utah, because initially when I heard about it, I'm thinking, well, they're not going to activate this app for months because it's Utah. And it's hilarious that they're trying to be progressive.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I don't know if they're trying to be progressive or if they are just throwing their hands up like the rest of us and trying to figure out, what do we do now? If you're I see so many of you on chat. If you are on chat, Seth, tell everybody what the name of your podcast is. People want to know what the name of your podcast is.
Joey put it in the chat. It's Hall of Justice is a comic book superhero podcast. The slogan is, if you're old enough to know what the Hall of Justice is, you're our demographic. And Sports with Friends is every guest is a friend or a friend of a friend. We play Jewish geography.
A fabulous game, by the way. One that I truly enjoy. Mary Travel Best, you put something in chat here I think we do need to address. Rush Limbaugh passed away today.
Yeah.
And you may and or may not agree with Rush's politics. I don't want to talk about his politics in any way, although he was the first of the conservative talk show hosts to go massively big. Massively big. And he got filthy rich doing what he loved to do, which was, his radio politics. God bless. But he also was a truly professional broadcaster with a voice all his own, who, although I have a different political persuasion, may he rest in peace. As an incredibly talented guy, and he will be remembered for his professionalism. The insanity of the subject matter is in the eye of the beholder, but his ability to get an audience, keep an audience, hold an audience, and do his job cannot in any way be refuted. And he was a very professional broadcaster, and he will be missed by those who love him, and those of us who respected him will miss him as well.
I've been in this business for 26 years, and Rush Limbaugh was one of the guys we studied. What he did, he capitalized on syndicated radio when it had its boom. He took conservative talk where it was never something that was syndicated and turned it into an empire. I didn't appreciate some of the things he said about Donovan McNabb, but this idea that this was a guy who was able to capitalize on a career in a medium that, if you would argue, Shelly, the 90s were the prime for syndicated radio. Howard Stern, Imus in the Morning, and Rush Limbaugh was right up with them.
Absolutely. Jim Chase, good point. Jim Chase just put in chat that Rush was one of the first to find a way to cater to a targeted audience and scale it. And I think that's absolutely right. He was, I can't say enough things about how the industry was impacted by Rush Limbaugh. You have to, if you're a student of the industry, Matthew Quint, he definitely got propaganda. I mean, it's a guy who just understood how to do his thing, right? Whether you agreed with this thing or not, He knew how to do it. And by the way, there are a lot of people who know how to do what they do that I don't pay attention to. That doesn't mean that I don't think they are absolutely badass. The Kardashian clan, you think these people don't work for a living? They work for a living. You may not want or be into what they're into. You can't take away the capability set that they're demonstrating every single day.
No, I won't deny any of that, but I have seen her best work.
Yes, Bruce Himes, I don't want to speak ill of the dead. I hear you. Rush, look, he had. My thinking has so dramatically evolved, Seth, about social media and its value. It's kind of funny.
Oh, it's a great topic.
I had a really funny thing happen to me this last 2 weeks, and I don't think I know how to say it any other way than the following. So for those of you out there who are wondering about what I've been doing in my spare time, because I have so much of it, I have been learning to be a TikTok star.
I don't mean to laugh.
No, it's all right. I'm going to type my TikTok handle in chat. That's my TikTok handle, folks. You all have it now. Shelly Palmer 5. That's me. I have analyzed over the last couple of weeks, and no, for those of you who are wondering, it is not me dancing in a bikini. It isn't. Much as that would really, I'm sure, break the internet. No. So, but here's the thing. Friday's video on TikTok has almost 250,000 views. I picked up 6,000 followers on Friday and 15,000 likes and 1,400 comment threads. Not comments, comment threads. This is like, it's War and Peace. It's incredible. So I went back and I was sort of trying to analyze, Seth, like what this means. Here's the frightening part. Everything that's over 20,000 views is me ranting and going negative on someone or something. Not a little negative, Seth.
Right.
Negative. What does that say?
It's almost like the bizarro social media, because usually negativity costs you followers. Over the pandemic, I lost followers for saying wear a mask. I lost followers for saying I didn't think baseball should have been played or college football. And then I said 10,000 people could go to the Meadowlands to watch a football game, and people called me a right-wing conspirator. So you can't win on traditional social media, but on TikTok, you can say things like that, and literally people are jonesing for it. They look for it. And I hate to say this, but my kids get their news from it. And that drives me nuts.
Yeah. So how do you get your news from? Like, I'm doing what you and I would call news on TikTok. The thing that got people really mad was last Thursday's video where I talked about double masking, which is a subject I want to talk about today. So the double masking thing is that you wear the CDC came out with a thing where if you take a 3-ply surgical mask,
mm-hmm.
and then you put, I don't know if I have it here. Yeah, then you put a cloth mask, like this kind of cloth mask over it. So theoretically, you kind of put one over the other. You're doing this. It's like, yeah, it's. Yep. It is. I wrote in my video titling because I didn't want to. Oh, that's very sweet. In the video title, I put that double masks more than double your protection. But Aldo Cugini, who is one of our salon goers, wrote me a note and he said, Shelly, you didn't do the math. It's like, okay. He says it's 7.5 times more effective than wearing just one. And he laid the math out. So the next day in my normal email, we have a big email list, which all of you, I hope, will subscribe to. Many of you are. I know it's, you do that at shellypalmer.com. The next day, I put that in there and I thought, all right, time for a video. So I did this video on TikTok And about 1,300, 1,400 people watched the video. It wasn't a big, considering some of the other videos I've done, it wasn't big at all. But the comments were moronic.
Because it's kids.
Yeah, but you usually, look, Seth, I usually applaud the diversity of the comments. TikTok is not a homogenous echo chamber for me. It's not a bunch, like, now everybody listening, they're all like us. They're smart people. Everybody listening is smart, and their political views don't matter. We should try. They're optimistic. You're about technology and media and marketing and strategy and doing business. Like, we're all kind of it's a bunch of grown-ups trying to just get better at their jobs. TikTok is none of that. TikTok is everyone in the world. So it was fascinating to me, even when they say, get out of here, old timer, or they curse, or they tell me that I'm an idiot. It's okay, whatever. That doesn't matter to me. It's like, sure, I'm an idiot. That's fine. I'm an idiot. That you're entitled. Knock yourself out. These comments were insane. This was misinformation everything about it was mind-blowingly bad. So the next day's video, Friday's video of last week, the title of the video is Stupid and Wrong. And I went for it. 250,000 views.
Boy, you have gone down the rabbit hole.
It's terrifying. Like, what does that say for our posterity? Like, okay, hi, children who we're giving the earth to when we're gone. The only way to get ahead in life is to piss on other human beings really hard. That's like, what? It's horrifying. It's horrifying. People in chat, now is your time to weigh in and tell me that I'm misinterpreting and that I got it wrong and that the world is awesome and I should be more optimistic.
Well, they're going to tell you to go stay in your lane and go back to Facebook like the rest of them.
Oh, God. Except that now, like, I now know the secret on TikTok. I wonder if it's going to work in Clubhouse. Have you been on Clubhouse yet?
I haven't tried. I've thought about it, but Clubhouse, it hasn't. I've seen people on it and people tweeting about it, but I haven't done it yet.
Friends in chat, who's been on Clubhouse? Is it awesome? Because we're doing our strategy. Boy, David Charmont, good question. Will it change in the post-Trump era? I have all often said and will continue to say, Donald Trump is not the cause of anything. He is a symptom, not a cause. Whatever it is that we want to blame him for, we are entitled to blame him for. Hold up a mirror to whoever is. To be fair and frank, I'll talk politics for 1 second in a non-political way. Donald Trump never lied to me about who he is. He has told me who he is every time he's opened his mouth from the very first time I ever met him. You know who he is. The thing that's surprising is who his supporters are. So that's the surprising
part.
It
doesn't fit. Somebody who would be a prototypical Trump supporter doesn't seem to fit the profile of someone who would really like him.
I don't even know what a prototypical one is. I know there's a caricature Trump supporter, but I have a lot of friends, dear friends, who are, really big supporters of his, and they all have their reasons. He is the symptom. He's not the cause. And so, in the post-Trump era, Matt, I don't know. It certainly did exist in the pre-Trump era. It just was maybe a little more repressed. Maybe there was some license given. One of the things that I think we're ruder now as a country than we used to be. I think we are.
Did you see the miniseries on Showtime, The Loudest Voice, where Russell Crowe played Roger Ailes?
Oh wow, that I have to go see.
And it's amazing. It's like the movie. It's like the movie that similar topic, but this is like a 6-part miniseries, and they talk about how they told their hosts bump up Trump, and then once he got so big, he tried to pull back, but it was too late. That Roger Ailes is really the mastermind. I mean, look, it's fiction, so I don't know how exact truth it is, but they had consultants on there, and you see the origin of this hate speech, and it ties into what you were saying about Rush Limbaugh, because Rush Limbaugh saw that and rolled with it. He saw the proliferation of Roger Ailes and Fox News, and what he saw was a way to capitalize. His show's ratings doubled when Fox News hit the airwaves.
Let me see if I can put this in perspective. I knew Roger my whole career, and may he rest in peace. He's gone. But Roger was a formidable understander of how to get a TV rating.
Oh yeah.
Formidable understander of, probably the biggest lesson from Roger Ailes. The way he would put on global warming on any one of the shows. On the other channels, they'd have a panel of experts to tell you that climate change was a big issue. And at the time it was called global warming, and it was a thing, and they would all agree with each other. And no matter how into it you were, no matter how in agreement with that statement you were asleep by minute 2. Global warming is terrible. Yes. And the planet's getting warmer. Yes. And we're all going to die from flooding. Yes. And it's going to have climate's going to change. Yeah. And the way Roger would put it on, Roger would get somebody who was one of those experts who would be willing to go on Fox, which at the time was, it's still reasonable human would still call it a TV opportunity. It's a little pre-social media, so you still needed the exposure. People would go.
Sure.
And then he'd take somebody who actually thought it was complete nonsense and had their own sort of conspiracy theories about what was going on, and he'd let them have a fist fight with a host that would semi-moderate, and you couldn't take your eyes off it. And so Fox would put on a train wreck, and MSNBC or at that time CNN was kind of just straight news, and maybe headline news would be straight headlines. But so Roger found a way to present a subject that was not controversial, make it controversial to that side where he picked it was so masterfully brilliant. And it may have been the worst thing for politics and humanity. I mean, you might be able to blame Rupert Murdoch for all kinds of things, but they were following one and only outcome: highest number of eyeballs to be aggregated and sold to advertisers. End of story.
There's a scene in that show where Sarah Palin lost in 08 or 12. Sorry, in 12. No, 08. What am I talking about?
Palin McCain.
Palin McCain, right?
Yeah, Palin McCain.
And Palin gives a speech where she claims that the election was rigged. And she starts what was known as the Tea Party. And there's a scene where Russell Crowe as Roger Ailes says, "That's gold. Play that more." And the hosts are like, "But there's no evidence. Play that more." And this was all filmed. Don't forget, this came out years before this 2020 election. So the rhetoric was laid down because he knew what triggered people, and he could get a rise out of people.
Yeah. Look, Roger, like I said, masterful. And as long as we've got commercial entertainment and we call it news, I mean, I don't even think, honestly, at this point, Seth, if you put a disclaimer that says this show is for entertainment purposes only, there's no news here. Like, pay no attention to anything said. This is just to amuse you and incite you to, be insane or whatever. I don't think people who want to believe this will believe it. The idea that kids are getting their news from TikTok,
it's scary.
Or Facebook. Scientists are idiots goes some of this stuff in the all of you. I'm not trying to push you to my TikTok account, but you should go to Shelly Palmer 5 and go to.
You're totally doing it.
I am.
People to come to
No,
TikTok.
I do, but this is not a group I think that's going to move the needle for me. So, but you might.
You want to do this show live on TikTok? You said it before.
I do want to do the show live on TikTok, but I haven't figured out a way to get a stream key off of these guys. They're a little bit closed. I'm wearing a powder blue sweatshirt, and so it's last Friday. The day before, I'm wearing 2 masks so you can see it because there's like a thing. Read the comments. Just it don't. The video 60 seconds doesn't matter what I said. Your faith in humanity goes away. Like, you stop thinking that there's a future for the planet when you read these comments, which is what caused me to do Friday's video. It just, wow, I didn't have a way to understand. They're stupid. And then there's something that's different than stupid, Seth. It's not, these people lead normal, I guess they lead normal lives. They have jobs, they have cars, they have children, they have houses, they pay their rent. Like, they're functioning humans, and the stuff that, like,
kids, stop commenting on Shelly's TikTok. Send.
So let's lighten this up. Here's I wonder if this is going to work. I'm going to try and put this in this. Oh, no, it didn't work. I'm back. I thought that was going to work. I'm going to try something else. I'm having a little trouble here with this particular tool. There we go. That's going to work. Pickleball. Yeah. Yes or no? Is it real?
I've seen people try it. I haven't tried it myself, but I'm all for it. And if they want to start a pickleball streaming service, I guarantee you I'd watch it. I'm not against it. But tennis is the one game I actually know how to play. So I'm loyal. I'm loyal to tennis.
Oh, wait, I have to go back. Michael Lloyd, killer comment. Well done. Thank you, Michael Lloyd. He writes, why not TikTok news? Mainstream media is all opinion anyway. Factual and biased news reporting is gone. Doesn't sell advertising. That's what I actually do on TikTok. I just take the news and I actually always lay out both sides. I say, this is what's happened. Facebook did blank. This is how so-and-so is going to react. This is how so-and-so is going to react. What do you think? Tell me. And so I always lay it out that way because it's my whole thing is think about this, right? So yes, I'm doing that, but I'm the only person I'm aware of on TikTok who's doing both sides of any issue ever.
But my kid comes in when Trump wanted to ban TikTok in the United States. My kid came in, Daddy, is this real? Is it real? What are we going to do with it? I said, I think you'll be able to dance. I think you'll be able to do your dances. It's okay.
Oh my goodness. Jim Chase is asking, is there anyone over 40, under 40, or anyone else over 40 on TikTok? There are, there are some amazing people my age and above on TikTok. And some of them have the proficiency to curse in ways that make me blush and make me jealous. Like, I wish I had that command of that kind of language. This is like combinations of words that you use in 7th grade, but done at a virtuoso level. So, always at someone. It's like, there's this one old woman, older woman. She's actually, I'm going to look her up right now because I follow her. I had no choice but to follow her. It was, I'm telling you right now.
You follow an older woman on TikTok?
She calls herself like Cat Lady something or other, or TikTok Cat Lady or whatever. She has some nicknames for the former president of the United States that you just want to write down. And what she does is she grabs, I guess what you would call far right conspiracy theory videos. Uh-huh. She stitches them. So she'll sit next to them, and you can do that in TikTok. And then, or she'll just play a little bit of that video, and then she'll cut in at the appropriate moment and lace in. And it is the definition of make you laugh out loud nasty. First of all, she's not, just looks like your grandmother, like the grandma you'd like, would you like a lollipop? Did you eat? Would you like some bagels? Hey, did you have breakfast? I mean, it's that woman that with that loving, kind face and that kind of, and then she starts, holy shit.
That's a special kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I'll find her. And next time we're on, I will get her TikTok name. And so people can follow her. It's like,
oh, that sounds like a hoot.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The thing is ridiculous. So yes, Jim Chase, there are lots of people over 40 on TikTok. There are far more people under 15 on TikTok.
Yeah.
Far more. And the disturbing part about TikTok, is the number of young girls who look a lot older than they are and act a lot older than they are. And I don't know that it would make their parents proud. One of the things about TikTok, the reason I got into it, by the way, in all seriousness, the reason I got into TikTok was that, I don't know, a couple of years back when it started to get to be a thing in America, a couple of my friends who are in machine learning said to me that the algorithm here is not to be believed. I'm like, it's a recommendation like engine like no other. You have to check it out. And so I downloaded the app and I was like, what's this? And I watched it for 5 minutes. I'm like, this is not for me. It's a bunch of little kids dancing. I mean, little kids, 13, 14, 15 years old, some line dances. Some people were trying to like mimic each other. There was like 3 pieces of music and they just kept repeating to the point where it's like, oh my God, I don't know. Can this piece of music like stop? This is not earworm. This is another definition of kill me now. But it threw up some serendipitous stuff that I didn't expect. Woodworking. I'm really into woodworking. I don't do it, but I'm used to have a shop, both a metal and a wood shop when I was a kid, and I was super into it. And so I, spent a little time. Then there's an app called Procreate on the iPad, which is a drawing app. And there are people who are absolute experts in it. And, they're doing things that like and it lends itself to these really short, 30, 15 second or even 60-second tutorials. So I spent 5 minutes the first day, a couple minutes the next day, a couple minutes the next day. By the 4th day, Seth, I was like, oh my God, this is like, it's so compelling. So it has this weird way of serving up what you want. It ebbs and flows insidiously. And every once in a while, I'd say I'm getting English language, etymology, language etymology. Someone will say, where does there, and there come from? Or where are homonyms from? It's a couple people teaching English. I'm getting a lot of woodworking still. People that are doing crazy work with these computer controlled woodworking machines that like make signs and engrave stuff, and it's like crazy computer controlled routers and fabrication tools. But the stuff that still there is about every 5th or 7th video, some girl in a bikini shows up, and
that's abhorrent.
It's neither abhorrent nor not abhorrent. It's out of character for where they takes you there, right? The problem I have with this isn't the girl in the bikini. I'm a big boy and I'm completely happy to look at a young woman in a bikini.
It's just part of your work.
It doesn't bother me. What does bother me is the age of some of these girls.
Sure.
That bothers me. And the fact that if you spend 10 seconds looking at analyzing TikTok, you start to realize very quickly that there's a giant wave of young people who are trying to leverage this. It's a game for them. The game, the way that TikTok is done likes, it's not like Facebook. They accumulate your likes, they accumulate your followers. So where you can see your follower count on Twitter, any individual tweet has the number of people who interact with it and engagements. Facebook posts, same thing. When you go to look at stats, you'll generally see them not aggregated. In fact, you'd have to go out of your way, because I think everybody knows that a like is not a business outcome on Facebook. A conversion is a business outcome. Same thing on Twitter. If you use it for business, the conversion is the business outcome.
Sure.
But here, what they do is they take the likes and they cum them up. So you'll see that you've got some number of followers and some number of likes. I'm just looking now because I don't know what today's count is, but so I have 14,000 followers and I have 112,100 likes accumulated. I'm following 263 people. So the kids are using that one stat, the number of likes,
sure,
against the number of followers. And that ratio is the game they play. How do they get more likes? How do they get more followers? There are youngsters who are, I think, not old enough to know what they're doing to themselves, picking up 1 million likes, 400,000 or 500,000 followers. I don't know if these numbers are real or fake, but the game is a game that they're playing.
Did you see that new documentary that just came out, Fake Famous?
No, that sounds like something right up my alley.
It's fascinating. It's on HBO Max.
Fake Famous. Anybody see it out there?
They take an experiment of 3 people, and they buy them followers and they buy them likes, And by doing this, they present them and they come up with a bunch of great fake photos. They go to like some guy's backyard and pretend they're in Belize, and they do all these things. And for one girl, she gets millions of follows and she becomes like an Instagram star, and it's wild.
It's, to me, this is just horrifying.
There's a great ice cream truck. There's this guy in Southern California that owns like 3 or 4 ice cream trucks. He has his own small business, and people used to come up to him offering to take photos with their ice cream and put it on their Instagram if they could have free ice cream. And he was getting fed up about it. So he has a sign on the back of his truck that says, "If you're an influencer, you pay double."
Oh,
I love it.
Do we trust TikTok analytics? Matthew Q. Do we trust TikTok analytics? I don't know. There is no API to get into. I've done an awful lot of searching on how to go deep into the TikTok world. I've got a call into those guys. We're going to have a little conference next week. I don't know what to make of it. I really don't. There's a company called AutoTalk, and what they do is they say they have used some RPA to do a follow back strategy that grabs that will increase your follower count, and they're doing something I've never seen before. They're offering 6,000 followers a month for free if you sign up. And then they've got prices up to $99 a month to go and get you more followers. And the technique they use is an old Twitter technique where you'd follow someone, you'd follow them back. If they didn't follow you back, you'd just unfollow them after a time. It seems really bad. I don't know if the numbers are real. And I'm not sure what gets the algorithm. I'm not sure who has to, what threshold you have to meet is really what I'm saying. I don't, for something to like something that has 1,200 views. You can almost tell an hour after you've posted something on TikTok what's going to happen to the viewer count just by watching the way the meter is ticking. And I don't know what causes that. So I'm going to get to the bottom of this because I really want to understand it. And in the context of Clubhouse, we're putting a Clubhouse strategy together now to start doing Clubhouse rooms. In the context of Clubhouse, now you start to think about what does this fight for relevance mean? What does this, what does the awareness get you? What is a follow worth in a world where people are just doing it for entertainment only, and there's no monetization schema that's sustainable? Like, why are you doing it? I'm doing this for the practical knowledge. There are people who are doing it as a game. There are people doing it because it's socially what they need to do to fit into their clan. I don't know.
Well, and that's what I always wondered when it came to, what was the big threat? What was so bad? What was so criminal? And what information was China stealing? And it was the same theory behind Foursquare. You remember, you I don't know if you still do Foursquare. I was into Foursquare for about a year, and I was like, they were like, "Oh, but your privacy is compromised." I'm like, does anybody care that I went for Chinese food in the middle of the day? Like, does anyone need to know that? If anyone really cares, more power to them.
Wow. So, Barbara, you've asked an interesting question here. Shelly, please comment your take on China and TikTok. I've written a lot about this, and I've taken a lot of heat for my position. China is either on par with the United States, slightly ahead or slightly behind in AI right now. By 2028, they will, by the numbers, be the world's largest economy. That's fait accompli. Which means that sometime towards the middle of the century, it is very possible that their currency will be the exchange currency of the world, not the US dollar. There are more honors students in China, goes the Wikiality anecdote, than there are students in the United States. It just also happens to be true by the numbers. There are those who believe China is the enemy. And if you ask someone why China is the enemy, they will tell you about human rights violations. They will tell you about the rule of law. They will tell people will talk chapter and verse about what's wrong with the way China does whatever it is China does. Then you get to and they're coming for our data.
I literally didn't want to interrupt you, and I wanted to say that.
What will China do with our data? I have no idea. Because all the things you can do with data haven't been discovered yet. So there are many more things you can do with data than are being done with data now. Is it really dangerous for someone to know your location, your keyboard clicks, your search history, your location history, the history of your devices, the history of on and on and on and on, every single bit of digital exhaust you create? If you answer yes to that question, and say it again, if you answer yes to that question, what are you doing about Facebook, Google, Amazon, Netflix, Microsoft, and Apple? Because they already have all of it.
Right. This
so what
data
you're saying,
that we're so protective of, you've given it away already.
I mean, it's so cow is out of the barn, you're closing the door. It is so toothpaste back in the tube. It is such an insanely immature, ridiculous conversation. You care about that? Then sit down with me right now and let's talk about the framework, the intellectual framework required to set a policy framework so that you can bring a cogent set of pre-written regulations and laws to congressional staffers who can then translate that into a bill that has a chance of getting passed. And if you're not willing to do that, then just shut up about China and data, because China has nothing. They have no power to mess with you. If they collect the data, they can't do anything with it. Do you really think they're going to mind control you from China with your data more than Facebook is already mind controlling you with their data? Facebook's algorithm controls the conversation. You know how they do it? They take a mirror and they hold it up to your face. They give you what you want all day long. Harry Potter fans, it's the mirror of Erised. For anybody else, it's a drug. They just blanket you in the comfort of the information you love, and they keep doing it until you click something that makes them money. If it's not insidious, it's a monetary scheme. The longer you engage, the more likely you are to click on something that they make money from. Sure. It's, by the way, the exact argument against, they hate conservatives. No, they don't. The algorithm doesn't love or hate anything. The algorithm does everything it can to surface stuff that will keep you glued to the platform. Any platform, name the platform. Its job is to keep you there, period. So that you will click on an ad, something they make money from. That's the algo. So if you're not worried about that, I don't know how you get to have a conversation about China. By the way, China may be our mortal enemy. I don't want to get into that conversation. And are there human rights violations? Yeah. Do we want to start to play whataboutism? If you want to play whataboutism, not a favorite game of mine, read the history of the United States, 1900 to 2021. You don't need to go back any farther than that. You don't need to go back 300 years, which you could, but it's a longer book. So anyway, I mean, the China thing, guys, I don't know. Yes, it's problematic that people have your data. Is it problematic that China has your data? It's problematic that your data is out there at that level. That's what's problematic. I mean, to me. So Jim's been to China over 60 times in his career, all for business. They are the best fast followers in history. Their business culture does not value IP protection, and theft is common and accepted. Jim Chase, that is absolutely the gospel. For those of you who are in chat right now, that I'm going to read it again. This is Jim Chase. I've been to China over 60 times in my career, all for business. They're the best fast followers in history. Their business culture does not value IP protection, and theft is common and accepted. True that. Yeah, there's no way around it. There really is no way around it.
I've been to Japan twice. That place is awesome.
It's a great, great country. Boy, I didn't know what conservatism was till I got to Japan.
It's a really fun place.
When were you there?
I was there in 2002 for the MLB versus Japan All-Star Series.
Wow.
And I called it. And then in 2006, I called the first round of the first ever World Baseball Classic. And it was a blast. It was so much fun. We had guys who served kind of as guides, friends of ours from America. The guy who's Ichiro Suzuki's translator, he would take us to all the places, so we didn't have to do the touristy things. We went down to the Electric City and Roppongi, and oh my God, that's a crazy nightlife.
Wow. Yeah, I got my my first sea grapes and Suntory combo. It was sea grapes are weird. Suntory is awesome. Enough of that together.
Oh, and the greatest ramen places in the history of Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it's a great place. I'll tell you though, again, I didn't learn anything about conservatism till I got to Japan. When I asked, I was at a shrine in I think I was in Asakusa, maybe. I was in a shrine, old temple, and they had a little stand you could buy things that you could write on to leave a prayer on these wire racks. You could leave a prayer. And I'm kind of a student of comparative religion. I always have been. I'm fascinated by that my whole life. And I noticed that there were both Buddhist and Shinto iconography on these little pieces of paper, these pre-printed pieces of paper that, there was Shinto gods and there was like some Shinto writing and there was the Buddha and some Buddha. So that night at dinner, I asked my host, I said, I was at the shrine today and I told him what I just told you. And I said, and it was fascinating. I saw both Buddhist and Shinto iconography on the little pieces of paper you could buy. He goes, oh, well, the religions combined. And I said, wow, I must have missed the memo. When did that happen? And he said, quite recently. I'm like, okay, I feel better.
When was this that you were there?
Oh, this is, I go there a lot. So this particular time was about 10 years ago. So I said to him, so what do you mean recently? Like I guess I missed the memo. He goes, yeah, no, it's very recent. So how recent? He goes, well, it happened about 1500 years ago. That's recent in Japan. I mean, that's a conservative culture. I just loved it. The place is amazing. I have so many great friends there. In fact, Television Disrupted is translated into Japanese. My book about the transition from network to networked TV, as is either Digital Wisdom or Overcome the Digital Divide. I forget which one. I have 2 books translated into Japanese. It's pretty exciting.
Cool.
It's a great place. I spent a lot of time there. Wonderful people. Tremendous business community there. Really wonderful people.
My favorite Japanese story. You want 30 seconds?
Yeah, sure.
There was an outfielder, a guy who played right field for the Japan team. His name was Kosuke Fukudome. And on the jerseys, they used Aramaic letters. So his name was spelled Fukudome. And someone from the Kyoto News interviews me and says, who's your favorite player on the Japan team? And I said, oh my God, Fukudome. And she goes, get out of here. My friend dated him. I know him. Do you want to meet him? I go, you better believe I want to meet him. And so in Japan, the custom is if you meet somebody formally, you bring a gift. So I ran in and I got a polo shirt from MLB and I gave it to him as a gift. And he gave me a Chunichi Dragons jersey that says Fukudome on the back. And when I got back to the U.S., I walked down the middle of Times Square with that jersey on, and it was the looks were incredible.
That's amazing. Well, on that happy note, we're coming to the witching hour, and we like to end at 4:00 on the dot. Look, everybody, thank you. We're here next week. Seth, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It's been an honor.
Live stream. All of you in chat, what a wonderful day today. Please, you can leave your name and what you do, and thank you for spending time together. Anything, if you guys want to come and hang out, you can find me at Shelly Palmer 5 on TikTok. That's I'm only half kidding. I mean, maybe I'm more than half kidding. I'm only half kidding. It would be wonderful if you guys could meet there. Of course, we'd love to have you at using the Strategy Hacker live stream. that would also be fantastic if you'd use that hashtag. We'd really like the Strategy Hacker live stream. Please, everybody, be very safe, be kind to your friends, take very good care of yourself. As I tell you each time, it means the world to me that you spend this time with me each week. It allows me to do so many things, that I learn so many things. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Be very, very safe. Double mask. And don't forget to go to TikTok and check it out. We'll see you next time.